Here's a guy I haven't seen in so long ago. We had such great memories. Gerald McRaney is here. Mr. McRaney, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. It's good to see you again, Mr. Mayor.
I tell you what, I was the mayor back the last time I think we saw each other.
Yep.
And you were doing Simon & Simon.
Yeah.
And you were out there in the Del Mar racetrack. I was in a couple of things. It turned out my cousin was
Your
the editor.
acting career didn't work out for you.
Oh my God, I was terrible. But you were great.
My political career didn't work either.
Well,
so
you know what? You have to do what you have to do.
Indeed.
I tell you though, in all of that time when you've been an actor, you've been a celebrity, you've been on TV, you've been very successful, you have found time for the troops. You've been out there and you've done a lot of this traveling.
Well, my wife and I both. We've done our USO tours, and the first time I took Delta on one of these things, when it was all over, she hadn't spent much time around military people. And we're flying out of Bahrain, and we're looking down on the desert, and you can see the Humvees and the Abrams deploying out into the desert. And she looked at me and said, "Sweetheart, you're right. These are the greatest people I ever met in my life. We have to come back and see them again." And I said, "Well, sweetheart, by the time we can make arrangements to get back over here, there's more than likely going to be a shooting war going on." And she just looked at me like I had lost what little mind I ever had and said, "Then they'll need to see us more, won't they?"
Yes.
Oh. So that's the kind of woman I married.
She got the picture.
She got the picture real quick.
Real quick.
And it's just always been a part of me, a part of who I am, is, you know, well, I wasn't raised to be a complete ingrate. And what these people do for us deserves at least a care package from time to time, and a little time on my part, and some money from time to time. A
little time, and more than that, you were in Somalia, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You've been in a lot of tough spots.
Oh, all the garden spots.
Oh, yeah, the little vacation spots, exactly.
Yeah, but what those people do, I mean, I'll go over, I'll be there for a couple of weeks maybe. These guys who go back for tour after tour after tour are the finest people God ever put on this earth, and it is up to us to see to it that their needs are taken care of. A lot of people think that the government handles everything soup to nuts, and it's just not true.
Yeah. When you were out there, talk a little bit about your encounter with the troops.
The main thing that the troops wanted was something from home. And I don't think it mattered to them very much that I had a show on the air or anything like that. I was from home.
Exactly.
And that's what counted. And Delta was from home. And that's what they wanted. And all of these packages represent more than just the stuff that's in the packages.
Well,
it represents something from home.
Yep.
Plus the fact that your wife is a good-looking lady. I'm sure that
didn't hurt.
I don't think it helped hurt.
No, it didn't hurt at all. You know, as you look out in the crowd, I don't know about you.
You should have seen the response when this one company was presented to her, and their company commander took the honor of presenting Delta Company, and they were right proud to be Delta Company.
That Delta Company.
Indeed.
That day, that Delta Company.
Indeed.
But you know, as I look out in these audiences, you go and talk to the troops, they get younger and younger.
Oh, my Lord.
And I say to myself, I almost feel
Couldn't
like,
be that we're getting older, could it?
No, of course not. But you look at them,
I just wanted to check about that,
no,
I wasn't sure.
But you know, you look at them and these are kids.
Yeah.
But they're not, you know, but I'll tell you
no,
what,
they're men and women.
And they've shouldered the biggest responsibility you can imagine.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
I'm very, very proud of each and every one of them.
Yep, absolutely.
And when I see them, I was at a thing not too long ago that was for veterans. But at this event, we had like 30 young people take the oath. And you see these kids coming in knowing what they're in for, knowing what's going on out there. And we're still producing the kind of young people who will come and raise their right hand and swear to protect and defend the Constitution. And it just, it does things to you.
Yeah, absolutely. What a.
Yeah.
And you know, we're so inundated with the media every day and the cynicism and all the rest of it. But that little patriotism, it's hard to kill in America.
You know,
we love our country.
I have got the cure for that malady that affects some of us of our age group from time to time, where we start thinking the country's going to hell in the handbasket.
Yeah.
You find a Navy base, a Marine base, an Army post, go aboard visit with those privates and corporals and lance corporals and young officers, and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine, because that next generation that's coming up is going to be made of leaders. And these people have what it takes. They've got the right stuff.
They've been tested and they're really great.
You play so many different military roles over your career. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Was it were you drawn to those roles, or did the roles change you?
No, I was drawn to those roles because I've had a lot of family and a lot of friends who were career military people, and some who just, you know, like your dad, I'm sure, who did their bit and came home and got back on with life. And I started seeing things in TV back in the 70s where they were treating Vietnam veterans. You know, every show had the crazed Vietnam veteran.
Lunatic.
And people were badly treating guys who had served in Vietnam. And it just irritated me. So when my time came along, and my first thing was Simon & Simon, and I went to the producers and I said, I want to make this guy a veteran. And the creator of the show said, hey, good idea. Why not?
Good.
And just so that people would see that the guy who's doing this also wore a uniform at one time and did his job and came home, and now here he is. He's, you know, a guy down the street. Because it occurs to me that the superheroes and the crazy guys, I never met one of those guys. At least nobody who considered themselves to be heroic.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of Americans who had an extraordinary job to do, and they did it. Now, I think they're heroic, but
yeah, I sure do too.
You know, they don't seem to think so.
My dad would never even talk about it. Wouldn't even, you know, it wasn't part of that picture. He says the heroes are the ones who were left.
Indeed, indeed.
That was his whole attitude about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Gerald McRaney with us. I'm Roger Hedgecock. Don't forget that number. Let me put my glasses back on so I can read it. That's what's happened.
You're getting shorter arms too.
I'm telling you. 866, and it's twice. 866-866-6372. Give something to say thank you to the troops we've been talking about, because they're out there. And they're out there not just in the headlines, they're out there in real.
And they're out there every day.
Every day.
Every day. And they're doing much more than they're called upon to do. That's another thing that people don't think about. When I was in Somalia, at the end of the day, Marines I was visiting with, they would have done their duty for the day. They'd come in, clear their weapons, turn in their weapons, clean up a little bit, and then go teach classes for the kids who were orphaned in the area. And nobody asked them to do that.
You know,
but these are our people. These are our young people, and this is the kind of thing
that's their character.
Absolutely.
You know, earlier in the program we were talking about this too, about the fact that occupying armies of great empires have always haven't given two hoots about the people they were oppressing. We're so different.
Yeah.
We don't go into places to occupy.
Yeah.
We go into places to give them the hope that someday they'll have the opportunity, the freedoms, the real that we have. We want to share it. We want people to know it.
And Colin Powell once said, and the only territory we asked in return was enough space to bury the dead.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that's the thing that separates the United States from other powers.
I think it does, and I think it always will, because of the people you've been talking about, because of the young men and women who voluntarily
do the job, who make the sacrifice.
Up. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
They step up to do it. And it's a great, you know, because I'm with you. When I think of high school kids, I go, oh my God, this world is never,
but go meet some of these soldiers and sailors
look at those
and
people,
airmen, and
you know
they're there.
Gerald McRaney, thanks for stopping by. You're a great man, and I appreciate you coming by. Good to see you. Been a long time. Last time I was an extra here on Simon & Simon at the Del Mar racetrack.
You had lines. You were not an extra.
And you told me you had a face made for radio.
Oh, yeah, I proved it that day is what I did.
No, you didn't.
All right, how much time do we have left, Mr. Director? I'm going to...
Oh, we got just a few seconds. So what we should do is remind everybody that they can contribute, and your audience has been so responsive and so generous. 866-866-6372, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, but donate now.
I'm Roger Hedgecock, and we'll be back coming up right after this.